The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has faulted the federal government for lifting the ban on importation of 43 items into the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria had lifted the foreign exchange restrictions it placed on importers of 43 items 8 years ago. The items include rice, cement, margarine, palm kernel, palm oil product, vegetable oils, toothpicks, meat and processed meat products, vegetables and processed vegetable products, and poultry and processed poultry products, among others. Okwara Udensi, MAN Chairman, Edo Delta Branch, while faulting this decision at the 7th Annual General Meeting in Asaba. The Delta State capital said companies are now closing down because of the bad policies of the government. And to talk about this, I'm being joined live in the studio by a real estate investment consultant, Ayetemimowa Olumide. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me, Olumide.
Good afternoon. Glad to be here.
All right. Now, how has these recent lifting on the importation prohibition on 43 items impacted, for instance, the real estate industry?
Well, the policy itself should be a welcome policy. And the challenges everybody faces is so glaring. For the past 8 years, the level of which business has been done in Nigeria is really affecting quite a lot of people because access to the foreign currency is really terrible. And this lifting of the ban is a confidence boost for Nigerian investors and the foreign direct investment because the initial implementation of this policy is to increase the local production. And if local production is having to import some foreign materials and not having the opportunity to access it, now paying exorbitant amount of money to access foreign exchange to be able to do business is not attractive and is bothersome. So the Nigerians facing this is really something we have to understand and empathize with. But we should see this as a ray of hope that this particular policy is being implemented.
All right, Olumide, let's look at the Central Bank of Nigeria's policies, in a closer, dimension for a moment. Speak to me in real terms about how the CBN's implementation of foreign exchange restrictions over the last 8 years has, in real terms, affected the operational effectiveness of real estate businesses in Nigeria.
Well, the policy itself have affected Nigeria's real estate section for quite a very terrific part because importing other materials that is needed for the businesses in Nigeria, which we know real estate is connected to various sectors of business in the country. So importing all these things have been a strain for us in the past 8 years. In the real estate sector, we are looking at cement, we are looking at tiles, we are looking at steel, we are looking at all these rods. These are imported materials that is needed, all right? So this CBN policy, right, is a welcome development. At the moment, it's really tough because for the past 8 years, like I said, the business in Nigeria has been dwindling. The decline in the confidence in Nigeria business has been dwindling. So it's now time for us to put in more effort to educate people and inform people about the opportunity that might be available now if we put in the work, because it's not just about implementation. We have to talk about managing and monitoring this policy because Nigeria itself can generate enough. We have the population that can meet up with the demand, and we can also do enough for ourselves, but giving us this opportunity to now access the investor and exporters window to get the foreign currency exchange is the best, I think, one of the forward-thinking dimension for Nigerians, totally.
All right, Mr. Ayetemimowa, let's look at government policies and regulations for a moment. What policies would you like to see change, especially those policies that concern foreign exchange, for instance, and how it affects Nigerian Manufacturers Association, and how it also trickles down to real estate businesses?
one thing we need to know, we need to put fluidity in our businesses. We need to find a way to make it convenient for the average investors to come and do business in Nigeria. Our business environments in Nigeria need to be well conducive for investors coming in. And we know the Nigerian economy right now is trying to rebrand itself after a quite a long time of not being well marketed to the world, that this country is actually a place where we can have something good working out. So I think the policy have already started kicking forward, and it's now time for us, all right? Time for us and the government, all right, to look forward to making fluidity in business. And that way we'll be able to attract foreign direct investments, knowing fully that the exchange rates will have given us exchange rate accessibility will not give us a decline in maybe time frame of, for real estate, for example, time frame of project execution has been affected a lot with this access to foreign exchange currencies, and this thing is what the governments actually need to work on to make sure there's fluidity in the business. That is getting the foreign currency into the system and being able to export our products and every needed investment that we need to let the people and the world knows that Nigeria can actually have a competitive market both domestically and internationally. And I believe this policy have already started, and we should work towards making it more fluid, more easy to access businesses in Nigeria.
All right. I was going to ask you regarding, you talked about fluidity and also investors and businesses in Nigeria. That leads me to my next question for you, which is, given the closure of manufacturing enterprises, how do the ongoing developments regarding the lifting of the ban and related variables, for instance, shape the macroeconomic landscape in Nigeria? And how does this affect your role as a real estate investment consultant in terms of accommodating investors?
Well, the thing, just like the governor of the CBN said, which is Mr. Yemi Cardoso, we said that the non-oil sector has been actually doing fantastically well, all right, so far in bringing revenue into the country. Now, if these policies are not properly managed and done for us, we are actually going down the drain. And the decline over the years, all right, is making quite a lot of investments leave Nigeria. So now with this policy on ground, we can know that we can attract more investors to come back into the country, knowing fully well that in regards to high cost of doing business can be reduced. We know that the importation of the technology needed to improve our local production can be attainable, and we can also know deeply that we in Nigeria right now, we that are Nigerians facing these challenges from this period, know that we can rebuild, we can bring in and attract more foreign direct investment with this policy. Yes, the situation looks so gloomy. The confidence level in the business environment in Nigeria is actually down at the moment. But it's left for us, all right, to keep informing people. It's left for us to keep notifying people that we can do business in Nigeria, all right? And by these policies being made, which is giving us access to the investors and exporters window to be able to get foreign exchange, one, even help us again, all right, to make a business more conducive for people we are working with. In the real estate sector, a lot of people are trying to invest in Nigeria, but the confidence in regards to how is the dollar-naira fluctuation happening, how will it affect their profits. But with this kind of policies, we can be certain and sure that the projection of our investments will be going on a high level. And I believe with all this, investors and businesses that have been moving away will still come back to come and do business, because we know the Nigeria business economy is, the Nigeria business environment is quite conducive for a wonderful business person.
Just to top up, in closing, in the light of all you have said, Olumide, how do you envision the future for manufacturers in Nigeria?
I believe the future is looking towards creation of more jobs. That is job creation. It's going to increase quite a lot of technological advancement in the country, and it's going to help the country in the long run to focus on what is meant to be improved, like our infrastructures. And like real estate, we always talk about something that no matter where we go, we have to come back, and the location of our country is giving us the opportunity for the future to grow. And I believe policies like this is something that we should look forward to for the betterment of our country.
All right, thank you so much for your expertise and, of course, your company here live with News Central Television, Mr. Olumide Ayetemimowa, a real estate consultant. Thank you once again.